Hi everyone, this is Pat in the paper closet. Hope you're doing well. Back with part two, we're working on our daily journal. This is the original. And this is the cover that we made in part one. It's not quite dry yet, but it is getting hard. Now in this section, I'm going to show you we want to make an inner binding here to attach all the pages to. And it's going to have a 1.5-inch wing, so it'll really hold it down tightly. So I'm going to cut that. I'm cutting that out of cardstock. We want it the size of our pages are 6¼ inches long, and we want it, let's see, 1.5 plus, I would say 4¼ inches wide. And that should work out well. 1.5. So we'll score it at 1.5 and 2 7/8. Okay, so 4¼ inches wide by 6¼ inches long. We need it. So I'm gonna have a scrap of cardstock from something. I'm gonna cut that down with my paper cutter. Okay, so we want 4¼ inches wide. Oops, move the camera, sorry. 4¼ by 6¼ Oh, I have to go the other end. Alright. 6 1/4. Oops. Didn't need that much. Okay, now we need our scoreboard. I'm going to score this at, what did I say? Oh, that. Alright, 1.5 is our wing. So we're going to score it at 1.5. Now I'll make it 1 5/8. And this would be 1/4. And 2 5/8. So we're scoring at 1 5/8 and 2 5/8. It's 4¼ inches wide by 6¼ inches high. Alright, get this out of the way. Let's test it in our book. Let me fold this on the lines first. Alright, so we want that to fit right in here. That'll work out. Very good. I'll put a little mark where I want my glue to end. That should come out to about here. Alright, so we're going to put glue in this area, down to here, and this area. Nothing, don't put any glue in the seams, in these folds here, because your book won't fold if you put glue in there. So we're going to glue on this and these two sides. Okay. And we're not going to go all the way to the bottom because our piece does not go all the way to the bottom. This piece is the size of our pages, so about 1/4 inch up on each end. glue this up. Covering the whole piece up to about 1/4 of an inch on this end. Spreading it around a little. Now we're going to do this side. Here's my mark. I'm going to make a little line here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And fill in this whole area. Up to 1/4 of an inch around there. And also on the other side we're going to put glue. Turn this around. Here's my mark, so I'll make my line. I'm guessing that looks good. Down to 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Filling this hole in. Quarter of an inch from the top. And that looks good. Okay. Now we're going to line this up with these fold lines. I'm going to line up in here. 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Even with those, within that area, bottom and top. And see my lines. There they are. Slide it up. Okay, that looks good. Press down the middle first. It stays in place. Now we're going to press down these. I'm giving it a good press so the glue is coming out the side. We're just wiping it up as we go. Pushing down the corners. Now these are going to get covered up by our inside lining, the cover lining, so don't worry about that, but they do have to be glued down well. They're going to hold this whole thing in the book. Give it good burnish. Get the corners. Sides. Okay, now, just like earlier, we're going to press in these folded areas very gently, making a crease in there, and folding up at the same time. See a loose spot here. Okay, pressing in and folding up so we don't crack any of our paper. Okay, turn around and do the other side. Find your crease. Start working the crease in. Pressing up, bringing up your cover. Go over it a little bit more. You just want it in that crease. And we want it to stay there. Carefully fold up your cover. Don't force it. Give it a chance to loosen up the fibers. That looks good. Okay, we have no cracks. We have our crease. And I could burnish this down a little bit more. That looks good. Can you see? Can you see the creases? That's where the folds are, so your paper doesn't crack. And nothing's getting in the way of closing the book. The cover's a little bit wet yet, so give it a shape it. And that would be the cover. And our inner binding. Now, the pages, those are another story. See if I can explain this. Now I started cutting and folding mine. You know, being that they're all going in the book like this, I want you to be able to see how they're folded, one inside the other. You're gonna have 7 groups, 5 pages each. They're all gonna be a different size. So you're going to cut them all different sizes. I'll give you the sizes. And then you're going to score them. But the scoring is easy because each page is 4 1/4 inches wide. So when you put it in your scoreboard, you're working in groups of 5, keep them together in 5s. And then you will score 4 1/4 inches. And then you'll turn it around and you'll score again at 4 1/4 inches. That's the only number you'll have to remember at that point. So first I'm going to give you the sizes of all the pages. We're not finished yet. I have more pages to do. So I'm going to show you how I do them. Now the numbers are, and there are 7 groups, 5 pages in each of these groups. Now the widest one, which will be on the outside of our group, will be 9 3/8 inches. That's what you'll cut it at on the 11-inch side of the paper. I think I have a sheet here. You put your paper in your cutter in this direction, and you'll cut it at 9 5/8. No, 9 3/8, I'm sorry. 9 3/8 will be your first 5 pages. And once you've cut that, you'll turn it, you'll cut them at 6 1/4. All the pages are 6 1/4 inches long. So this is going to be the length of your page. And this is going to be your width. So let me get another group. And I'll show you. Oh, I have them cut. So this one, this group, right here, 5 pages, I cut at, I'm working from the inside out. So I started with the narrowest pages, now I'm going to the wider ones. This one is 9 1/4. So that is this one right here. So I have this one to go and this one. I started on the 7th group, which was the smaller inside pages. So actually, how I figured it out, it's 4 1/4 plus 3/4, which is now going to be the size of my outer spine on these pages. They all keep getting bigger. Plus another 4 1/4. So I add it up to 9 1/4. So I cut it. This is at 9 3/8, no, 9 1/4. This is this group. 9 1/4, 6 1/4 inches high. And now I'm going to score them. My score. Oh no, I lost it. Here it is. Okay, take one sheet. I find it best to work with one sheet at a time. I've tried several. They just didn't score. Now don't score them hard. This is paper. You have to be gentle. But the only number you have to remember here in scoring is 4 1/4. Then you turn it around and score 4 1/4. And that's all you're going to have to remember. Keep these piles together. 4 1/4. Not too hard, you rip your paper. Turn it around. 4 1/4. That's 2. The next one. 4 1/4. Turn it around. Score it at 4 1/4. Two more. 4 1/4. Turn it around. 4 1/4. So this is the last one in this group. Remember, we're working in groups of 5. Keeping them together as we cut and score. 4 1/4. And the last 4 1/4 for this group. So now you take your pages, hold them on the score lines. These are very easy. That's one. Hold them all on the score lines. Stacking them inside each other. That's 3. Pulling on both score lines on each page. That's 4. And the last one. Okay, we have our, this is a stack of 9 1/4 inch pieces that have a, here's my notes. This has the 3/4 inch outside binding. Now this is going on the outside of my stack. So I take my stack, put the whole stack inside of here. And can you see they're gradually getting larger from the inside. The inside one was 1/8 inch binding. So we gradually increased till we got up to this size. I have one more group to do, one more group of 5. That would be my 9 3/8, which would have a 7/8 inch binding. Now I didn't make it 1 inch because you don't want your pages to be right up against the fold. So I've made it a little bit shorter. It'll be 7/8, and our binding is 1 inch. So I'm going to continue folding my last batch. No need for you to watch me fold and score. So I'll get those done, and then we'll put them inside the book we'll start it in our next video. That'll be part 3. And then we'll almost be done. We'll line the cover and our book will be finished. See here, when we put them in, we're going to glue them into here. 1 page at a time. Takes a little bit, but it's worth it. Now, you see what I was talking about? You want this to not be all the way into your groove here. You want them a little bit away, so our next batch, we'll take it out to 7/8 of an inch, which will give us a little room on each side. And our pages will turn nicely. Okay, so I hope that didn't confuse you. The hardest part is making sure you cut your pages to different sizes and keeping them in groups of 5. So I don't know if you want to... These are my numbers for the pages. Now when I started at the bottom. Doesn't matter where you start, just keep them in order. Arrange them in piles so you know they're groups of 5. And then you score them. The scoring is the easy part. All you have to remember is that 4 1/4 on each end. And then stack them all together. The smallest on the inside. And then you'll have your pages done. Okay, so I'll be back. We'll finish up putting our pages in. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. And I'll be back in the next video, part 3. Thank you very much. Bye.